Wasalam, he is what? Bashir wa Nazir. He gives good news. Then he gives a warning, isn't it? And what is the character of the Holy Prophet ﷺ? He is described as the walking Quran. The Quran gives good news. The Quran also warns. And in the story of Hazretleri Musa alayhi salam and his nation is a big warning for the nation of the Prophet alayhi salam. Not to fall into the tricks and the traps of the earlier nations. Not to fall into the tricks and the traps of the earlier nations, those ones who are following Hazreti Musa, those ones who are following Hazreti Isa, especially. And these two warnings is one of the meanings that is inside of the Surah Al-Fatiha that we're reciting more than 40 times a day. Are we saying those ayats over and over again? And on top of it, Holy Prophet ﷺ is saying, in the Akhir Zaman, my nation, they will follow those two earlier nations, step by step. Even if they enter into the hole of an animal, my nation will enter it too. It's a huge warning to us. It is for us. It is for the believers. For us not to repeat those mistakes and those actions of the earlier nations. Because Prophet is already saying, most likely we will. So those believers, they're going to take the story of Hazreti Musa alayhi salam. And you're not going to sit and judge other nations. You're going to sit and judge yourself. Where is yourself in this? How many, when they are opening the book of Quran, with proper adab in these days? How many, before they open the book of Quran, they make sure that they're dressed properly, Islamically? They're putting at least a turban on their head, fully covered, to burn some incense, sweet, nice smell, so that the malaikas will come. And you're saying, BismillahirRahmanirRahim, in a condition that is not pulling you to dunya. And they are speaking to you. To say, Allah is telling me this. Allah is warning about this nation. Allah is warning me. Or are we just taking the book of Quran among so many other books in our bookshelf because it's cheaply printed? And because, subhanallah, it is not bid'at to put printed by Saudi Arabia, in Saudi Arabia, by Sultan, not Sultan, they don't use that anyway, King so-and-so, front page. In the book of Allah, but praising that Wahhabi shaitan first. And putting so many other things there. Because we lost the tradition. There's an adab. Other nations, they keep very strongly the tradition of writing the scriptures. Especially the Bani Israel, especially the Yahudis. Very strict. We used to have that. We used to have only saints. There's writing the Quran. And it becomes holy, and we keep it high. We take it down to read, but we keep it high. It is not a book that you can just buy in Barnes and Noble or somewhere. That Muslims today, they have no connection to the words and to the book of Allah. It's just like any other book. In the masjids, they put that Quran on the floor, stacked up. In the masjids, they are lying back or sitting with their feet pointing towards the Qibla, putting the Quran on their laps, right next to their, I'm speaking openly now, right next to their private parts, and reading. It's very good that people are reading Quran, but the Quran as the Quran itself is saying. It can either, if you take it properly, it can bring you to paradise. If you mistreat it and use it wrongly, definitely it'll drag you to hellfire. The Quran is such a holy book. We're not trying to stop people from reading it. So many people, they are in the bus, in the subway, they're reading the Quran. That when he was put into a room and he asked, what is that book that is high that is put? He said to him, that is the Quran. He didn't know how to read. With respect, for respect of the word of Allah, just like this. And when heaviness reached to him in the Fajr time, he said, and he had a dream. He woke up with the azan calling, and the story continues from there. And the Sheikh asked him, tell me your dream. He told his dream because of the respect that he has for the Quran. Muslims, subhanAllah, we have so many Qurans, where so many people become Hafiz. You're not being a Hafiz of the Quran. You're not protecting the honor of the Quran. So many, they're destroying the Quran. You cannot be called Hafiz then. So now, the Holy Prophet ﷺ, he is the walking Quran. The Quran is what? Giving a good news and warning. We have a strong connection as an ummah to the earlier prophets, especially to the prophets of the Bani Israel, especially to Hazretleri Musa alayhi salam. And in the lineage of the prophets of the Bani Israel, definitely and especially to Hazreteri Isa alayhi salam. That inshallah Rahman, may he appear in our lifetime. The time is very short. It is not hundreds of years that it's going. It is very short. All the signs they are showing. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making it very easy for us as the ummah of His beloved one to take lessons from all the actions of the nations of the earlier prophet. And if we don't, there's going to be a very heavy burden on us, dunya and akhirat. There are billions of Muslims now, 2 billion Muslims, but we have lost. Because no longer we're putting the life of the Prophet ﷺ and his lifestyle into our lives. And we have lost. And we're waiting for that one to come to save. Sahibul Zaman, Muhammad Mahdi alayhi salam, to wake us up. Meanwhile, there are few people here and there. We're asking Allah to include us amongst those few people. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Give the drinks.
BismillahirRahmanirRahim.